Not sure why, but I can't flip my phone around. Anyway, I did not have Thursday's thoughts this week for a pretty good reason. For a lot of you that don't know, or maybe that don't know me, or that know me but just don't plain know, I went into diabetic ketoacidosis last Saturday night. Um, I usually eat pretty clean: brown rice, potatoes, beans, salsa, sweet potatoes, everything that kind of flies in the face of what you shouldn't have when you're diabetic, or what you shouldn't have when you're diabetic. Um, anyway, the last few months, it just kind of dawned on me that my medicines haven't. We'll get to that part here in a minute. Anyway, started out with a stomach ache, vomiting most of the night. Figure, oh, maybe I'm getting sick or something. The next morning, still feeling the same. So, um, my blood sugars were kind of high, and they have been high, leading back to off and on past few weeks. And so, go to the not directly to the hospital, but this little like urgent care place. Go, and they're testing my ketones and stuff like that. They already know that I'm a diabetic. And so they tested my ketones, and they said, well, we would let you go, but we think you should probably go to the emergency room because your ketone level is past the max, like 166 or something. And, at this point, my breathing is labored, and my just starting to get slightly confused. And, by the time I got to the emergency room, I couldn't answer like basic things about my last four digits of my social security. They asked what my last name was, and I just had to pause and had to think. I had my wife there with me, and it was pretty scary. Um, that's when they figure, well, he's going into ketoacidosis. And basically, that's where you have so many ketones, and your blood starts to thicken like motor oil. So therefore, if that happens, obviously your brain is gonna called like brain edema, where your brain starts to swell, and your brain is not getting oxygen. It's not getting an efficient amount of oxygen or blood. So that's where confusion sets in, possible blindness. Um, and then the labored breathing, not an efficient amount of blood getting to the heart. So you take a chance on having cardiac arrest, and leading, with the lack of blood getting to the brain, coma plus death. So, I mean, it's nothing to joke around with. I, they, lately, I'm going to be very honest and transparent with you guys. Um, I didn't always stick to my brown rice, to my chickpeas, things like that. A lot of times I would stress eat and kind of go back to my old little habits here and there. And I would stress eat, and, just little things like that. And they actually come to find out, there was some pills that I was taking. I ain't gonna mention the name of them. Maybe I should. I don't know. I don't know what the legalities are on this, but I was taking a certain, um, is it a S something 2 inhibitor? It's in my Mastering Diabetes book. Really good book, and I know it works because it worked for me last year. Um, when I was crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's and fasting and eating a whole foods, plant-based, low-fat diet. I can't find it right now. Maybe I'll have to do a separate video on it. if I could find out. I don't want to get sued. Sue me for what? I work paycheck to paycheck. Anyway, come to find out, it was that medicine that it was one of the effects with sending me into diabetic ketoacidosis. Not to take some of the responsibility away from myself, definitely not. But that was one of the causes. So I was in the hospital for about 2.5 days or so, and they ran a C-peptide test on me, and I wasn't sure if they did or not. So I was asking my new doctor about everything today. She finally called me for a phone call, phone appointment, follow up. And I asked her about the C-peptide test, about getting that ran, and she said they actually ran that when I was in the hospital, which that might have been what they did when they was poking around in my arteries. Basically, I was misdiagnosed 6 years ago as being a type 2 diabetic. I am a type 1.5. Most of you probably have never heard of that. Our pharmacist didn't even know about that until a couple hours ago. And so, I mean, basically a 1.5 type 1, I'm assuming can't really produce any kind of insulin at all. A type 2 can produce the same amount as a regular person, if not more. It's just it has trouble getting utilized because of too much, excess dietary fat. The type 1.5 still produces still has some beta cell function left. Basically, I heard it's late onset. It's basically a late form of type 1 that eventually you may need. I mean, eventually I'm definitely going to need to be on insulin because my oral medications are not working for me as good as what they used to, and it's going to slowly progress to where they won't work at all. So right now I'm trying to keep my blood sugar stable. They're still in the 200s a little bit. I've had to bump up the dosage on one of my things that I am taking, one of my pokers. So that's where I'm at for now. I do have another, I will be getting a phone call on Monday, hopefully, to set up an appointment with my regular doctor. And then I got to, what is it called? Get a referral and set up an appointment with an endocrinologist. I didn't think a lot of this was going to apply to me when I was reading the Mastering Diabetes book. I skipped over the whole thing about type 1s and type 1.5s. I just only read what I had thought at the time pertained to me. So, I don't know. It's almost like going back to square one or starting over. But that's what happened to me, guys. It was a little different from when I first found out I was diabetic. It wasn't ketoacidosis, but it was almost like tied to it, but a little differently. Maybe I'll have to elaborate more, talk more about it. I don't know. Anybody else out there that's type 1.5, let me know how you are. Let me know how things are going. I don't know. But like I said, I've had to back off of my beans and my brown rice, my baked potatoes, stuff I usually love and I usually love to eat. I can't tolerate right now. Trying to go in the way of low fat, mostly plant based. To try to regain some of my insulin sensitivity, of what I do have left. I don't know. In a weird way, I'm remaining positive about this. definitely positive. I'm sure I may have my moments here and there. I mean, just kind of like, well, where to go from here? You know, I'm having a big old bowl of salad tonight. I normally don't eat meat like I used to, but I mean, I'm having a little bit of something just until I get situated, and then I'll, for the most part, be mainly vegetarian, but just low fat. So, hey, gotta have your fungi, right? Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on with me. I'm not perfect. I'm a work in progress. I'm only human. You guys know that song, right? Um, but that is what's going on with me. I'm doing a lot better now. For the first couple of days, I was extremely low on energy. It was hard to walk. My mind was just spacey, scatterbrained. It took a few days. I'll be back to work on Monday, so hoping I still got it. But it's just going to be a matter of getting things figured out. That's all it is, and just gonna keep on keeping on, right? But all right, guys, take care for now.